Good morning. It's about 6 a.m. just before, and the adventure to Apo Island starts. Yesterday I checked into my hostel here in Dumaguete and I asked the lovely owners of this hostel how to get to Apo Island. They said get a tricycle to the bus station, a bus to the port, then a ferry to Apo Island. But start at 6 a.m. and I'm like, why start at 6 a.m? They were like, oh, because of like high tide, low tide, I don't know. They're like, make sure that you get back around 3, we'll get you back at the hostel around 5. I was like, why that early? Yeah, once again, something with the tide, I don't know. But I'm just trusting that they know what they're doing. So it's 6 a.m. and I'm gonna see if I can find a tricycle. So tired. I'm already hoping it'll be worth it. The experience turned out to be a little bit more difficult. Once I got to the port, it turned out that there were no public boats going, so I had to either get a private boat or join a tour. 2 people came up to me and offered that I could go on their tour. They had done a lot of research. It turned out to be one of the cheapest, so I joined them for about 2,000 pesos. And once we were there, we hit the ground running, so I didn't really have time to film anything, but we went straight into the water, which is the footage that you see now. Okay, so I did no introduction this morning, so good morning. It's a little bit later, but I will start here and then move back. So this morning I woke up at about 5:45, got a tricycle to the bus station for about 30 pesos, and then a bus to the port, which Matalaya port, I don't know, something, not the regular port but another one, for about 60 pesos for the bus. And then I got to the port because I wanted to take a ferry to Apo Island. Apparently there's no public boats going, so you have to do a private boat or tour. Luckily there were two people that I got talking to that were doing a tour, so I could join with their tour for about 2,000 pesos, but it includes the national park fee for 300 pesos, so technically it's 1,700, and it includes lunch, which is a massive plus, and like all the gear and stuff. I'm not entirely sure what else because I didn't book the tour, I just joined them, so technically I booked the tour, but I don't know what's included. So we just went snorkeling, and oh my gosh, I have that. It is so amazing. Like, I don't know if you can still see my mask on my face, but it was the most incredible experience. I saw 3 turtles and so many fish, coral gardens. There's a tiny little bit of plastic floating around, but you have to go with a guide. So my guide and I both like collect the plastic, so that gives me a very good feeling about the tour and the guide, that they really take care of it. They make sure that you are not like touching or coming near the coral or like swimming into it. So I've just finished for about an hour and a half, I think. Gonna have some food, wait for the other two to finish their part of the tour, then we're gonna have lunch, and then if you want to go out again we can. So I think I can just find my guide and we can go again. I definitely think I want to go snorkeling, but I also kind of want to hike to a viewpoint. I don't know. I might ask what the other two are gonna do. So yeah, let's go have lunch and see what else I'm gonna do. I am beat, but that was one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life, I think. At one point I saw 4 turtles at once. I'll do a full recap later, but my snorkel guide took some cool photos, videos for me and of me. I'm hoping it will turn out great. But I think I'm gonna wait for the other 2 to come back from the tour, and then we're gonna hop in a boat and go back, and then take a bus back to Dumaguete. I've just taken a much needed shower. I think my hair's still dead, but we're just gonna roll with it, see how it dries up. That tour was amazing. I am now about to put the photos and videos on my laptop to see them, because on a GoPro it's very hard to see, it's a very tiny screen. But I think there's some good things in there. It was unreal. Like, the coral is so vibrant and so beautiful and so alive. I've seen coral before, but maybe like one thing, or you know, most of it is usually dead. But this was gorgeous. And in case you're wondering, the guides make sure like you cannot touch the coral, don't get near the coral. Like if you wear fins, like be very very careful with them. You cannot stand on the coral, obviously. You're not allowed to touch the turtles or hug them or whatever. Like you're allowed to swim close to them to take sorry, to take a photo, because they are still in their natural habitat and they are used to people, so that when there's people around it doesn't scare them off. But once you start touching them and like sorry, once you start touching them and holding them, that's when it gets worse. I need some water. So from what I was told before, people could just come on the island, snorkel by themselves, and that's it. But people would hold, like I said, hold the turtles and ruin the coral, and that's not the vibe. So they implemented the snorkeling guides, and I think it works pretty well, because my guide was very knowledgeable and he saw all the things that I didn't see. Like he spotted some turtles from like meters away, and while the water is clear, it's not that clear that you can see to pretty much the other side of the ocean. But he was like, oh, there's one. And then we would have to like swim like 4 or 5 strokes before I could even see it. So it was very very cool. At one point we even saw 4 turtles, and I'm still on a high right now. It does not feel real. Like there are very little places like that still exist, I think. And I think this is a great way that they maintain it, but people can still see it. I loved it. Make sure you go to Apo Island. It's so cool. Between snorkeling we had lunch and we walked up to a viewpoint. The thing is, there's 2 people per guide, so you're not allowed to go anywhere without your guide. And I'd met 2 people and I joined their tour basically, and I got my own snorkeling guide, so it was me and another guy, which was kind of like a private tour feeling. We went up to the viewpoint and they said, oh, we're going to go, and their guide was with them, and I was like, oh, can I just join you with your guide? No, 2 people per guide. So my guide had to hike up to the viewpoint with me, but the view was absolutely gorgeous. And then we went swimming again, and we saw so many turtles and clownfish, and I am still on a high and so excited. I am about to review everything and see everything. And life is great. Like, how do we top this? It was sunny, the weather was absolutely perfect, which it's been not that great here in the Philippines so far, so I'm very happy with a sunny day, and I'm just happy. So that's it. I think that's today. Tomorrow I am leaving Dumaguete because I was only here for Apo Island. So I'm gonna book some things, sort some things out. I will see you tomorrow.